Hi, my name's George Gary, and I'm talking to you about Frank Lloyd Wright in Los Angeles. What we're going to do is show you a few little places of LA that you've never heard of. So come along for the ride. We're going to start in 1921 when he first came to the LA area. So in 1921, a little fact that not many people know is Frank Lloyd Wright had his first offices in Southern California here at Grand Central Market. Grand Central Market is a big market. You probably saw it in La La Land. And then on the other side, it's now a parking structure, but the fifth floor was an office. 522 was Frank's place. Well, we just showed you the 1921 office building, which was Grand Central Market, up on the fifth floor. And now, while he was there, he started working on the textile houses, but he did move, and I'll show you where he lived in a hotel not far from here. But this was 1923. This is one of the textile houses that he did. This is the Ennis Brown house. In 3-4 years, he did all the textile houses, and these are what everyone is known for. We've got the Freeman house, which is above Hollywood Boulevard. This is the Ennis Brown house, the largest square footage, but it only has 2 bedrooms. I've been in this house. The Storer house, which Joel Silver, the director of Batman movies, he recently sold it a few years back. In fact, it was said that some Hollywood person would be buying that house, and that's over on Hollywood Boulevard. From this house, you can see the other 2 houses on the other hills, which is fascinating. Then the house that's not here in Los Angeles proper, it's in Pasadena, north of here, is the little the Milner house, and I've been in that one too. The only one I haven't been in is the Storer house, because I'm not friends with Joel Silver. But this house sold for $18 million a few years back, and the last person to purchase it before that was $6.5 million, and he redid it to, and that was Ron Beal. He redid the house, and it's really beautiful inside. We went in during the restoration process. But Ron has switched his stuff out to Palm Springs, and now he's got a Lautner house, which was owned by the Hopes. So Dolores and Bob Hope up on the hill, looks like a spaceship landing. That's the house he's redoing now. So he buys houses and then sells them. So he made a good profit here. So this was one of the textile houses. And now we're going to show you where, while this was going on, where Frank Lloyd Wright lived, and a little secret, which is fascinating. It's 1924, and Frank Lloyd Wright is working on his textile houses, and he's living here at the Mount Holly Hotel, is what it was called back then. Now it's single family housing, single units. Upstairs of this building, we're in the Silver Lake district of Los Angeles. His offices were on Fountain in West Hollywood, which is the next city over, but they're no longer there. The building's been torn down. But what's fascinating about this place is I'm going to take you to the door, and I'm going to walk you around the corner to show you how inspirational this little block is. So this was the Mount Holly Hotel entrance off to the side. But what's interesting is Neil's going to follow me over here, because I want to show you how close we are to something that's very historic here. Corner. 3 buildings down. Home of the first Walt Disney Brothers studio. This is where they did it all. They rented the back end, and it's right here on Kingswell, around the corner. That's how inspirational this street is. Frank Lloyd Wright and the Walt Disney Brothers were on the same street, the same year, and the same time. How crazy is that? So we're here on Rodeo Drive, and this is the famous street of shopping that Pretty Woman was filmed on. And Frank Lloyd Wright did a building in 1952 right behind me. And you can see that the building is very interesting. 1952, he'd already done those textile houses that we showed you. And this one, we're going to go across the street and show you how other projects came about after this one, like the Guggenheim. So the 1953 Anderson Court offices building was built in the middle of between Valentino, which wasn't here back then, and Tom Ford. And across the street, you see Prada and the Coach store. So everybody walks down this street. Like I said, Pretty Woman was across the street, and at the end of the block is the Beverly Wilshire Hotel that they filmed it in also. Nobody knows this building is even Frank Lloyd Wright. It doesn't even have a little sign, and I have this thing about plaques. I like for people to know what things are. When you go to Europe, you see little plaques all over the place with names and things. So that's what I hope Beverly Hills Heritage does, is put a plaque here. So while we look at this building, you can see that it's got these that are very close to the Price Tower in Oklahoma, the same look. And when you look at the top part of the building, you can see that it's got the spiral walkway that goes up, just like the Guggenheim in New York. Now, what first was here in 1954 was a public relations. The bottom floor used to be a shutter store, of all places. A sales ad for the rental of the penthouse when it opened was only $300 a month, which equals $2,250. The lower floor down here was a fur salon, and this was very popular. And the latest ad in 1980 was the second floor, which is 1,200 square feet at $3,600 today's dollars. I'm back where we started earlier today, and I'd just like to thank you for going on the ride around Los Angeles to Frank Lloyd Wright's Los Angeles in the 1920s and 1956. Take care. Hope to see you all soon. Bye now.